What's up, everybody? It's your boy Theo, and in today's video we reacting to the most feared kid in the U.S. prison. I thought only adults do crazy ass crimes, but I don't even know what this kid did, but we about to figure it out. Let's get straight into it.
It might seem logical to assume that only adults are capable of committing heinous crimes, but children can be equally susceptible to acts that shock and horrify. From a young murderer openly taunting a victim's family in court, to a killer couple boasting about their recent murder on YouTube, to two brothers slaughtering family members with knives for internet fame, these are some of the most feared young kids in US prisons. Let's begin with TJ Lane. First on the list is a killer whose seemingly innocent appearance masks the true monster lurking beneath. On February 27, 2012, the small town of Chardon, Ohio, was plunged into tragedy when a high school shooting carried out by TJ Lane left the community reeling. Lane, a 17-year-old student at Lake Academy Alternative School, entered the Chardon High School cafeteria that morning wearing a sweatshirt with "Killer" written on it and armed with a .22 caliber handgun. The shooting began just as students gathered before classes started. Without a word, Lane opened fire, aiming directly at a table where a group of students was seated. In a matter of moments, 3 students were fatally wounded: 16-year-olds Daniel Parmator and Demetrius Hewlin, and 17-year-old Russell King Jr. Additionally, 3 other students were injured, one of whom suffered permanent paralysis. Lane was not a stranger to the students at Chardon High School, as he had attended the school before transferring to the...
Somebody was bullying that nigga to the point where he was like, you know what? I'm gonna kill you motherfuckers. Like, somebody had to be bullying him to the point where he was like, yeah, they about to die. They about to die because ain't no way.
The alternative education program. The motive behind his violent actions remained largely unclear, though some reports suggested he felt victimized or ostracized. The response to the shooting was swift. A teacher chased Lane out of the school, and he was later apprehended by authorities near his car parked about a mile away from the scene. Subsequent investigations revealed that Lane had stolen the gun used in the shootings from his uncle. During his trial, Lane's demeanor was notably defiant and disturbing. He appeared in court wearing a t-shirt with the word "Killer" scrawled across it, which he had written himself. He smirked and made obscene gestures to the families of the victims, showing no remorse for his actions. In March 2013, Lane was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. However, on September 11, 2014, Lane, accompanied by 2 other inmates, broke out of the Allen Correctional Institution in Lima, Ohio. This situation...
Bro, there's no way, bro. How, bro? It's a prison. Like, how the fuck do niggas break out?
Was particularly alarming given Lane's criminal history. For hours during the manhunt, he was nowhere to be found, until he was apprehended 6 hours later. In March 2016, amidst heightened security concerns, Lane was transferred to the Southern Ohio Correctional Facility in Lucasville, a fortress-like maximum security...
I just want to know why he stayed in his own city. Because if I murder somebody and I gotta get the hell out of town, I'm getting the hell out of town. Like, if I break out of jail, bro, I'm getting out of town. You're not gonna catch me, bro. It's gonna have to be another state jurisdiction, bro. I'm telling you.
Prison designed to house the most dangerous inmates. A friend of Lane spoke with CNN, describing him as just a very normal teenage boy, and expressed being in complete shock over the recent incident. She noted that although Lane often appeared sad, he seemed otherwise normal in his daily behavior. Another friend shared insights into Lane's school life, revealing that he was regularly teased by his peers. This bullying led Lane to put a wall around himself, making him reluctant to share personal details or open up about his experiences. But somebody
was bullying him, bro. So he snapped.
Accounts raise a critical question. Can the difficulties Lane faced at home and the bullying justify his actions? Alyssa Bustamante.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
I never have, and I hope never to see another case like this.
In a chilling episode that shook the nation, Alyssa Bustamante, a 15-year-old from Missouri, became infamously known as the Missouri Teen Thrill Killer. Her heinous act involved the calculated murder of her 9-year-old neighbor, Elizabeth Alton. Alyssa Bustamante appeared to be an ordinary teenage girl, but her internet persona revealed a far darker side. This hidden darkness erupted on October 21, 2009, when Bustamante lured her 9-year-old neighbor, Elizabeth Alton, into the woods. There, she strangled the young girl, slit her throat, and stabbed her in the chest with a kitchen knife. After the murder, Alyssa buried Elizabeth's body in a shallow grave she had hand-dug behind their homes. This brutal act seemed to be a manifestation of Alyssa's most horrific fantasies. Her public MySpace and YouTube profiles disturbingly listed killing people and cutting as her hobbies, hinting at the violent thoughts she harbored. On the day of the murder, Alyssa recorded...
Bro, that's a person with a demon inside of them, bro. Like, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for, like, emos and people that wear black all the time. Like, bro, you know the motherfuckers that look like they got demons. The motherfuckers that look like they had killed somebody, bro. You gotta watch out for them.
It in her journal, revealing her homicidal thoughts and expressing a chilling curiosity about what it felt like to take a life. She wrote, "I just killed someone. I strangled them and slit their throat and stabbed them. Now they're dead. I don't know how to feel ATM. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the oh my god I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kind of nervous and shaky though right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now. LOL." On the evening of October 21st, 2009, after Patty Price reported her daughter, Elizabeth Alton, missing, police launched an urgent search. The investigation soon led to Alyssa Bustamante's home, where interviews with her family and the discovery of her journal containing incriminating details pointed to her involvement. Confronted with her journal entries during a rigorous interrogation, Bustamante was pressured into confessing to the crime. She tried to play innocent at first, but then the police told her that they'd found the journal.
"We have your diary. We've read your diary, including the last entry."
When pushed a little harder and having nowhere to go, she initially admitted it was an accident, but it all didn't last long, as she confessed to digging the hole 5 days prior to Elizabeth's death. Then the investigator pointed out that an autopsy would reveal exactly how Elizabeth died.
5 days before she killed her, bro, she decided to dig a hole. That is crazy. These kids are fucking crazy, bro.
He pressed her further by asking how did she kill her, to which Alyssa made the confession.
Her throat, she died.
At her 2012 trial, Alyssa Bustamante, tried as an adult despite a turbulent childhood, pled guilty to second-degree murder to avoid a life sentence without parole. This means there's a possibility of parole after 30 years. However...
What the fuck, bro? What the fuck, bro? She should be gone, bro. She killed a kid, slit her throat, and wrote about it.
An additional conviction for armed criminal action means that even if she secures parole in 2024, she faces another 30 years, pushing her earliest possible release to 2054 at the age of 60. The next killer kid is Lionel Tate. 2 children are left alone to play, and a 6-year-old girl ends up dead. Was this merely a case of child's play gone horribly wrong, or was there something more sinister at work? On July 28, 1999, in Broward County, Florida, 12-year-old Lionel Tate found himself alone with his 6-year-old cousin, Tiffany Unick. That day tragically ended with an event that would see Tate become the youngest American ever sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
She looks like she's not breathing. I tried to do CPR.
Is she breathing or not?
No, she's not.
Are you next to her right now?
Yeah, she had some food that was coming out of her mouth.
On that evening, while Kathleen Grossett Tate was resting upstairs, she left Tiffany Unick in the care of her son, Lionel Tate. Shortly after, Tate alerted his mother that Tiffany was not breathing. Investigation later revealed that the child displayed severe bruises and injuries akin to a vehicular impact, including a fractured skull, a broken rib, and internal hemorrhaging. Tate, however, claimed the injuries resulted from imitating wrestling moves. During the trial, Tate's defense presented the argument that Unick's death was a tragic accident, suggesting that the 12-year-old, who weighed 170 pounds, was merely attempting to imitate wrestling moves of his television heroes with Tiffany, who weighed just 48 pounds. However, their defense failed to sway the jury. In January 2001...
It's not funny, bro. It's not funny. They literally tell us not to try this shit at home, and he tried the wrestling moves. But so he didn't tell the full story, but they was in, I would have been like, bro, we was in here wrestling. We was practicing wrestling moves, and boom, I slammed her, and then she didn't get up. She wasn't breathing.
When Tate was only 13 years old, he was convicted of first-degree murder. Under Florida law, Tate was convicted of first-degree murder without the jury needing to believe he intended to harm. The law stipulates that knowingly committing an act likely to injure a child, resulting in death, qualifies as child abuse and triggers the felony murder rule. During sentencing, Judge Joel T. Lazarus outlined that this rule applied even without proof of Tate's intent to kill or awareness of the potential for harm. He even went on to say that the decision was not entirely his to make. Consequently, Tate was sentenced to life in prison without the necessity for the prosecution to demonstrate his intent or understanding of the lethal consequences of his actions. Understandably, the sentence sparked controversy given that Tate was only 12 years old at the time of the murder, while his victim was just 6 years old. Eventually, Tate's life sentence was overturned in 2004 by an appeals court that found his mental competency hadn't been properly assessed before trial. Consequently, Tate was released from prison under a plea agreement in January 2004, which involved him admitting to second-degree murder in exchange for 1 year of house arrest and 10 years of probation. Although this marked a new beginning for Tate, then 16, his legal troubles continued. In 2005, he faced charges of armed robbery, and a probation violation in 2006 led to his return to prison. On February 19, 2008, Lionel Tate entered a no-contest plea to robbery charges and received a 10-year sentence to be served in state prison. This sentence was set to run concurrently with a 30-year sentence he received for violating...
Bro, but that's crazy, bro. He get out of jail, and I'm pretty sure when he got out of jail, he probably tried to change his life, tried to get a job, and nobody wanted to hire him, so he had to go back to doing illegal shit. Like, I hate that shit, bro. Like, I'm pretty sure he tried to change his life because he did not want to go back to jail. And they fucked him over because he got a record and they wasn't hiring him no more. So he was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be careful, bro. That's why I don't ever want to go to jail, because I know I'm gonna have to do something different.
His probation. Currently, Tate is serving his time at the Charlotte Correctional Institution. Bever Brothers. This case is recognized as the deadliest act of crime and mass murder in Broken Arrow, often referred to as the Bever Family Massacre. What I'm about to share with you will send chills down your spine. For the Bever brothers, the pursuit of becoming famous drove their insane actions. Detective Rihanna Russell, who interviewed the younger brother Michael, reported they wanted to kill at least 50 people. They wanted to be famous. They wanted a wicked...
What the fuck is wrong with white people? 50 people? That's 25 bodies each, bro. These niggas, to be famous. They could have just showed their personality and got famous.
Wikipedia page. They wanted media coverage. Unfortunately, the tragic series of events began on the evening of July 22, 2015, in their home in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Robert D., aged 18, and Michael, aged 16, had secretly amassed a collection of knives, which they used to attack their family members. The horrifying ordeal started when Michael deceitfully drew his sister into a bedroom under the pretense of showing her something on a computer. Robert then ambushed her, severely wounding her by slashing her throat and stabbing her multiple times. The disturbance alerted their mother, April, aged 44, who was brutally attacked by Robert. She suffered at least 48 knife wounds upon confronting him and died on the spot. The brothers continued their violent spree from room to room. Their father, David Bever, 52, endured 28 stabbings and numerous blunt force traumas. Their youngest brother, Christopher, just 7, received 6 stab wounds. The brothers then attacked their sister, Victoria, 18, stabbing her 18 times across her neck, chest, back, and upper arm. Amidst the bloody chaos, Daniel, 12, managed to lock himself in a room and call 911 for help. However, he was tricked into opening the door by Michael, who acted as a victim himself.
That's like 6-7 bodies, bro, in one night. In 30 minutes, that's like 6-7 bodies, bro. They were just ruthless with
Inside, the brothers stabbed Daniel 9 times. Daniel's quick thinking and call for help played a crucial role in saving his sisters Autumn, aged 2, and Crystal, aged 13.
Damn.
As police quickly arrived at the scene, the brothers fled through the back of the house, but were soon located by a police K-9 in a wooded area nearby. And then, Crystal Bever, a survivor of the Bever family massacre, identified her older brothers Robert and Michael as the perpetrators, leading to their charges of 5 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of assault assault with intent to kill, to which they pleaded not guilty. In 2016 and 2018, Robert and Michael Beaver were convicted on all counts for the Beaver family massacre, receiving multiple life sentences. Robert was sentenced to life without parole, while
He's
Michael,
smiling, bro.
multiple teen, Robert and Michael Beaver were convicted on all counts for the Beaver family massacre, receiving multiple life sentences. Robert was sentenced to life without parole.
Look at that, bro. He's smiling, bro. He don't even give a fuck. He like, nigga, we did it. We didn't hit our goal, but we got a lot of them.
While Michael, due to his younger age, received life sentences with possible parole, though his release is highly improbable. Heavenly Arroyo. Now let's look at the case of a 15-year-old girl who ended the life of Ana Vasquez Rodriguez in a barbaric manner. Arroyo, who had recently moved into her great-uncle's home on Johnson Street, was living there with Ana Vasquez Rodriguez and her grandson. The house, where tensions were already high, became the site of a violent crime. On October 6, 2019, Arroyo's great-uncle had planned a trip to New York to secure legal documents for her custody, but was delayed due to car troubles, causing Arroyo significant frustration and agitation as the day went on. Arroyo, unable to contain her growing impatience, took a pair of scissors from the kitchen and entered Ana Vasquez Rodriguez's bedroom, where she unleashed a brutal attack, stabbing the bedridden 68-year-old woman 70 times. At the time of this horrific act, the only other person present in the house was the victim's grandson, who was playing a video game, wearing a headset, completely unaware of the tragedy unfolding. After the murder, Arroyo took a shower, discarded her blood-stained clothes in a nearby dumpster, and then coldly informed the grandson that his grandmother was unwell. Discovering the horrible reality.
What the fuck, bro? Oh my god. Listen to the story, bro. Listen to the story, bro.
Significant frustration and agitation as the day went on. Arroyo, unable to contain her growing impatience, took a pair of scissors from the kitchen and entered Ana Vasquez Rodriguez's bedroom, where she unleashed a brutal attack, stabbing the bedridden 68-year-old woman 70 times.
70 times, bro. Like, how do you even got the strength to do this shit 70 times? Like, what the fuck is wrong with people, bro?
At the time of this horrific act, the only other person present in the house was the victim's grandson, who was playing a video game, wearing a headset, completely unaware of the tragedy unfolding. After the murder, Arroyo took a shower, discarded her blood-stained clothes in a nearby dumpster, and then coldly informed the grandson that his grandmother was unwell. Discovering the horrible reality, the grandson immediately dialed 911, and police swiftly arrived at the scene. The breakthrough in the investigation came when video surveillance footage provided by the Fall River Housing Authority showed Arroyo disposing of the clothes, contradicting her initial claim that she was outside with the dog and had seen a masked man fleeing the scene. Once in custody, Arroyo's demeanor shifted as she made several incriminating admissions spontaneously. Heavenly Arroyo stood in a Fall River courtroom, smiling and flipping her hair as she faced a murder charge. When her name was called in court, the teenager's response shocked everyone.
Heavenly Arroyo?
That's me.
In 2023, Arroyo, then 18-year-old, pleaded guilty Tuesday in Fall River Superior Court to second-degree murder. She was sentenced by Judge Rene Dupuis to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 19 years. Sierra Halseth. How does a teenager end up committing such a brutal act of murder? While the Beaver brothers sought media attention through heinous crimes, this particular case explores the dynamics of teenage rebellion involving a young girl and her boyfriend. In the shadow of a custody battle between Daniel Halseth and his first ex-wife, former state senator Elizabeth Halseth, now Elizabeth Helgelian, a chilling plot unfolded. Sierra Halseth, then 16, and her 18-year-old boyfriend, Aaron Guerrero, were briefly together before their relationship was curtailed by their parents, who discovered the couple's plan to run away to Los Angeles. On April 8, 2021, Sierra and Aaron prepared for a violent act by purchasing a circular saw blades, bleach, lighter fluid, gloves, and a drop cloth from stores near Daniel Halseth's home. The next day, Halseth's brutally mutilated body was found in his garage, with an autopsy revealing over 70 stab wounds to his head, neck, and torso. Further horror was added as his remains, stuffed into a sleeping bag, were set ablaze, leaving his body charred from head to toe. The couple's brazenness extended beyond the murder. They uploaded a video to YouTube, stunning viewers. In a shocking declaration, Guerrero announced,
"Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After murdering day 3 after murdering somebody."
Wow! Don't put that on camera.
Their run from justice was short.
The fact that her dumbass still posted it, bro, bitch, that's your fault. You dumb motherfuckers. You dumb motherfuckers, bro. It's crazy because if it wasn't for that video, they would have probably got away. And they just incriminated them fucking selves.
Lived as they were apprehended in Salt Lake City shortly after the video went live. On May 26, 2022, Guerrero and Sierra Halseth faced the consequences of their actions, pleading guilty to 9 counts, including murder, arson, and robbery. Both were sentenced to 22
Arson?
2 years to life in prison with the possibility of parole. At the sentencing, Sierra offered no apology while Guerrero did. Roxana Sikorsky. In a case that gripped the suburban community of Plymouth, Michigan, 15-year-old Roxana Sikorsky
Oh yeah, she looked crazy.
boyfriend faced
She looked
severe
crazy.
charges.
Oh Lord Jesus. Who the fuck? She definitely murdered a lot of people, bro.
Preparing to murder her family. The story of Roxana
Family.
Sikorsky is a tragic.
Told you she
beginning
murdered
with
a
her
lot of
adoption
people.
from Poland at the age of 4, along with her 2 siblings, by the Sikorsky family. Early abuse led to a diagnosis of reactive attachment disorder for Roxana, a condition that made it difficult for her to form emotional bonds with her caregivers. At the age of 15, in October 2014,
Wait, what?
her to form at the age of 4, along with her 2 siblings, by the Sikorsky family. Early abuse led to a diagnosis of reactive attachment disorder for Roxana, a condition that made it difficult for her to form emotional bonds with her caregivers.
Bro, at this point, they just be making up shit, bro. They just be making up shit for these white people, bro. I swear to God, I ain't never heard of no shit like that. You got a disorder that causes you to detach from people. Like, bro, I don't attach myself to people like that. I ain't got that bullshit. That don't mean I'm out here killing people, bro. It's stupid.
At the age of 15, in October 2014, Roxana's life took a dark turn under the influence of her 23-year-old boyfriend, Michael Rivera. Rivera, who was
That nigga crazy. Yeah, people was making fun of his hairline right here. And he went crazy. He said, bitch, you gonna kill them or I'm gonna kill you.
much older, manipulated Roxana and hatched a plan to murder her family members who were against their relationship. He went so far as to send Roxana detailed instructions on how to carry out the killings, including a medical diagram to ensure she targeted vital areas. That night, Roxana attacked her younger brother with a fillet knife, aiming for his neck, but thankfully, he survived. Her sister's screams alerted the parents, and Roxana fled the scene, escaping through a window. She met up with Rivera and they hid in southwest Detroit, but were soon found by the police. Due to the premeditated nature of her actions, prosecutors charged Roxana as an adult. In March 2016, a Detroit court sentenced her to 10 to 20 years in prison for conspiracy to kill her family, while Rivera received...
Bro, so she didn't even get away with it, and she got 10 years? 10 to 20 years, and she didn't even kill the motherfucker. She just cut him and hopped out the window. Come on, folks. Like, you stab one person, bro, you gotta get it. You know what? Never mind.
A life sentence in 2015. Roxana's parents were devastated by the court's decision. They didn't believe she truly intended to harm them and felt she was coerced into accepting the plea deal without their input. Roxana's mother, Lorene Sikorsky, voiced her distress. She's in desperate need of continued psychological help. She is still fragile, and an adult prison would shatter her delicate world. How will sentencing her as an adult help her? Is this justice? Roxana also shared her side of the story.
He goes, cut like a, slice like a tomato. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, on the neck. He sends me an artery picture. And it's like right over here, where you do that.
Eric Smith. This is the case that made national headlines in the United States. It's okay, Mom, I'll go by myself, were the last words Doreen Roby heard from her 4-year-old son, Derek Roby. Let's take a closer look at this notorious case. On a seemingly ordinary summer day, August 2nd, 1993, the tranquility of Savona, New York, was shattered by a devastating act of violence. 13-year-old Eric Smith encountered 4-year-old Derek Roby, who was en route to a summer camp in the local park. In a sinister turn, Smith lured the young boy into a secluded wooded area under the guise of showing him a shortcut. There, he mercilessly ended the young boy's life by first strangling him until he passed out, and then by dropping a large rock on his head. He then took Kool-Aid from Robbie's lunchbox and poured it into Robbie's open wounds. Later that day, the reality of the dark Tradbox stout, and then by mercilessly ended the young boy's life by first strangling him until he passed out, and then by dropping a large rock on his head. He then took Kool-Aid from Robbie's lunchbox and poured poured it into Robbie's open wounds.
Oh my god, bro. What the fuck is wrong with people?
Later that day, the reality of the dark tragedy unfolded when Derek's mother arrived at the park to pick him up, only to discover that he had never made it to camp. Hours later, searchers discovered Derek's body in the woods, only yards from the park, and with the perpetrator still free, the residents of Savona were gripped by fear for the safety of their own children. Who knew it was a seemingly innocent-looking Eric Smith? By August 8th, overwhelmed by guilt, Eric confessed to his mother that he had killed Derek. That night, the Smith family informed the police.
This terrible thing was done. I think everybody, including myself, thought it was an adult. How could anybody do such a terrible, terrible thing?
Eric was subsequently tried as an adult, marking him as the youngest murder defendant in New York State history. During his trial, specialists conducted extensive medical testing, including assessments of his brain function and hormone levels, but found no abnormalities that could explain his violent actions. Court records note that Eric, often isolated and bullied for his appearance, struggled socially. A week after his confession, Eric was convicted of second-degree...
These new kids nowadays is weird, bro. Like, bro, I was bullied. You don't see me out here killing motherfucker, bro. Like, you parents gotta start whooping your kids' ass, bro. Like for real. Because this is what happens. They start killing random kids. They do school shootings. They try to kill their whole family and shit, bro. These are all white people. Only I remember the little black kid, but it's like he was probably just really just practicing wrestling like he was, and then slammed her a little too hard or slammed her wrong, and then she just didn't wake up. You feel me? But these kids is shooting up schools. Like, bro, you gotta start whooping y'all kids' ass so y'all know, hey, you do something stupid, these are the consequences. Cause this is crazy.
Degree murder and sentenced on November 7th, 1994. At just 14 years of age, Eric was sentenced to the maximum term available for juvenile offenders at the time, 9 years to life in prison. Eric Smith served nearly 3 decades behind bars. During his time in prison, Smith was denied parole multiple times, with the parole board frequently citing concerns about his release into society. Over the years, Smith underwent various rehabilitation programs and repeatedly expressed remorse for his actions. In 2021, after numerous parole hearings,
like, instead of putting these kids in jail, why don't y'all put them in a place where, you know, they can still go outside, they got people watching them, they can still go outside, they can still be a human being, and just put them through therapy, bro. They're kids, they don't know how to fucking control their emotion. I know that's not an excuse, but it's like they don't teach them kids they don't teach these boys or these girls how to control their emotions, and these kids fucking go crazy.
Eric Smith was finally granted parole and released from prison. Joshua Phillips.
Growing up in prison, I've seen many dark things, and I've been to dark places. Many times throughout this journey, I came dreadfully close to ending my life just to escape it all.
This is the case of Joshua Phillips, who went into prison as a child in 1999 at the age of 15 and has now become a fully grown man. His crime, convicted of first-degree murder for the death of 8-year-old Maddie Clifton. On November 3rd, 1998, in the Lakewood neighborhood of Jacksonville's South Side, 8-year-old Maddie Clifton was reported missing by her mother. Maddie had been playing outside her home when she disappeared, triggering an immediate and widespread community response. Flyers were distributed and search parties were organized, drawing over 400 local volunteers who tirelessly searched the area for any sign of the missing girl. Phillips was also a part of that search team. Despite these efforts, a week passed with...
That's a cold nigga, bro. You done killed her and then you helping them look for her? That's some black people shit, bro.
No trace of Clifton. Then, on November 10th, a startling discovery was made. The mother of 14-year-old Joshua Phillips noticed a wet spot on the floor of her son's room. Upon further investigation, she uncovered Maddie Clifton's body hidden within the room. Reeling from shock, she fled the home and alerted the authorities, leading to her son's arrest at his school mere hours later. And within hours after being arrested, he confessed to the murder. I have to warn you that the following details of Maddie's murder are disturbing. Viewers' discretion is advised. On On November 3rd, 1998, a tragic sequence of events took place that changed the lives of Joshua Phillips and others around him. According to Phillips, 8-year-old Maddie Clifton came over to his house to play baseball. Phillips, who knew he wasn't allowed to have friends over while his parents were away, agreed to play. The game took a catastrophic turn when Phillips accidentally hit Clifton in the eye with the baseball, causing her a significant injury. Panicked and fearful of his father's reaction, his father had a history of alcoholism and was strict. Phillips dragged Clifton inside his house in a misguided attempt to manage the situation. Once inside, Phillips's panic escalated. To silence Clifton's cries, he hit her with the baseball bat. He then hid her under the base of his bed and tried to act normally when his father came home. Realizing later that Clifton was still alive and hearing her moans, Phillips's response was drastic and fatal. He further attacked Clifton, cutting her throat and stabbing her chest multiple times with a knife from a Leatherman tool, ultimately leading to her death. Also, he was using air fresheners to mask the smell of the rotting body. Following the murder of 8-year-old Maddie Clifton,
There's no, bro, hold up. There is no way that there was a dead body in his house for days and his parents didn't even smell it. There is no, bro, I've smelled a dead body before. Bro, there is no way. I don't give a fuck how many air fresheners you got, bro. That shit is not gonna go over a dead body, bro. A dead body is a dead body, bro. I'm telling you, it's not gonna go over a dead body, bro. I don't know what the fuck, yeah, his parents just didn't pay attention to him, or they must have been a dirty fucking family or something, bro. Cause nigga, you're going to smell that shit. You're going to smell it. And it's gonna trigger your nose like, bro, what the fuck is that smell? And you're gonna figure it out. Oh, it's under your bed. Like, what? What?